Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested to migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on a little bell on the side. So once we have all the updates, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now today's video, I would like to take you into a detailed explanations and descriptions of the GTI Global Talent Independent on the subject of circular economy, which is not an often or a big topic to be talked about, but I would like to go through each industry which the government of Australia has actually proposed. So why not talk about it? Perhaps you're in that industry, you probably just don't know, and perhaps you and your friend might meet the requirement. Let's first begin to actually go back and review how the eligibility of a GTI visa should be. So I actually done a lot of video on this one, but on the topic of GTI, you might want to get more detail about other industries or about the detail of eligibility as well. But anyway, let's review it, have a look. So you may want to have a little Google and basically punch in GTI space eligibility of the spell ELIGIBILITY, and you should be able to land yourself in this web page. Now, for GTI, it's pretty. The concept is simple, but obviously the visa is complex. That's why there's so many topic and industry that I have gone into detailed explanations. But the actual concept is very straightforward. You need to meet these three requirement, which you got to be at one of the target sector, which we got to cover the circular economy today, and you got to have the talent. So there's a way to actually define your talent, and I have some detailed video explanation on that one too. And you gotta be able to attract and perhaps already earning a high income threshold, which we're gonna talk about in a second. So to be invited to apply this visa, global talent visa program, a candidate will be highly skilled in one of the 10 target sector, which you're gonna go through. We're looking for a highly skilled professional, senior executive, and exceptional individual who are at the cutting edge of innovation of the target sector, and most of them are basically technological and advanced focus sectors. So let's have a look. There are resources, so that's all the minings and things, agriculture, agri-food, agri-tech, energy, health industry, very important in this day as we are still rolling through a pandemic. Defense and advanced manufacturing, so all the computer chips, circular economy, that's the one we're going to talk about today. Digitech, infrastructure, tourism, finance, service, and fintech, and education. So, and the talent, let's go through this a little bit and we'll go into detail of circular economy. So you got to be very talented, provide international recognized achievement. So I've done a specific video on how they define international recognized achievement. Still be prominent in the field of expertise, so you can't come back and tell the visa applicant or Home Affairs, say, look, I was the expert 10 years ago. Are you still an expert in this area? No. So that's not going to be the requirement. So provide evidence of how you'll be an asset of Australia, and you have no difficulty obtaining employment and recognize organization or reputations as someone in such reputation to actually nominate you or endorse your capability and skill set. Okay, so we're looking at senior roles. You got a lot of patents, professional award, international publication, or perhaps international memberships of some sort. And the high income threshold, we are looking at the threshold of equivalent to annual income of Australian dollars $158,500. Now it doesn't have to be current, but you need to show that at least if you have a current income like this, that would be great. But if not, you need to at least show that you have the capability to actually attract this kind of income. I will say if you're already earning this much, it'll be much easier to actually show that you have a capability to attract future Well, future is uncertain. Obviously, we've been through a pandemic. Every day is uncertain nowadays. Okay, now let's come back to the industry of circular economy. These will actually cover bioenergy, sustainable productions, recycling, waste treatment, waste and energy technology, emission technology, and ecological sustainable manufacturing. So it's actually very interesting where it actually covers a lot, because a lot of people think about circular economy. I think it's all the waste management things, but it does come through an innovative or technological innovation to actually treat perhaps waste. Now, waste doesn't mean trash. Waste could be coming from industrial waste. It can come from high-tech manufacturing waste. It could come from anything. Now, we've seen recently how some company have innovative idea to actually use the waste sewage to actually identify the virus, such as COVID. That will still be counted in here, although it's probably cross-platform between health and the circular economy. But it's actually utilizing how we can actually use the waste. The waste can come from anything, and to actually have the technological advance to turn it into something useful. And that's the meaning of the circular economy. Let's go into the actual Global Australia's website, which has more information here. Now, it's just unfortunate that there has non-testimonial of any person who has actually gone through this in this site yet, as we have usually we're looking into recent arrival, but there's no one in circular economy. But let's have a look. So the web page is quite detailedly explained, but it doesn't. It's basically telling you how the industry is and how much the nation of Australia is looking to invest and inject into this huge potential industry. So they are looking for the talent around the world to go into this one. So innovative technology, transformation into circular economy, demands new technology expertise to grow business. Local firms looking to funding and collaboration. So there's a lot of things going on in Australia. So predominantly a lot of people will think about the plastic bottles and turn it into something else, but certainly in a factual in the real world scenario, there's just so many things, just like the wastewater the test case that I have just talked about, example that I just talked about. It's not just about plastic. It could be metal. It could be the used smartphones, and no one wants it anymore. So how do we treat those wastes? How about fridges and all those microwave where been used up and you wanted to turn into something else? How about used cars? How can you use it in the reusable waste on the oil produced from the motor vehicle? How do you there's a lot of things, and looking into perhaps like a lot of used tires, the car tires or the truck tires, and it's waste, and then they shred it into little pieces, and then they can turn it into some useful material. I know that they use that onto the road that we are actually the paving on the road. They turn it into the pavement. I don't know how they done it, but they are technology to be utilizing that. So that's all what we talk about the circular economy. So case study. So let's have read on this one, developed by CSRIO. Data 61 as part of digital tool empower business to exchange waste as a resource. Well, that's good. Bingo industry has embedded a circularity as a core principle of its business. It's a leading charge in recycling construction waste. So construction waste, that's a lot of stuff. Like, for example, coming from all the wood, timber, what else? There's a lot of plastic, a lot of different mechanical or chemical stuff came out from construction waste. So how they can reuse them. Australian Circular Economy Hub demonstrate the diversity of the circular economy activity in its collection of case studies, and the PACT group invests 500 million in new facility research and technology. So it's not just the company that making commercialization on the waste usage, but the research and technology firm. They are perhaps still in the process in researching how. I'm not too sure. What about the waste camera? Well, what about the waste old notebook computers, iPad and things like that? How can they turn that into another things? So that's all what it covers. So basically, let's go into the specialization. There's more, very good thing, but it's very tiny to read. Let's magnify that a bit. You might want to go into this web page to skim through yourself as well, but I'm gonna read them out because it's okay. So specialization, AI, artificial intelligence, and digital technology. Now, how would that work with circular economy? Now, perhaps AI can be used to detect useful waste. Perhaps, probably, bioenergy generation. Okay. So I've seen this one for example, the used animal waste. They can turn that into a biofuel. Have you seen that before? I've seen that biomethane methane productions. So that's turning all the agri waste. They turn it into gas. I believe that's what they're trying to say. So that's again circular economy, commercialization experience within the industry, development of sustainable productions, supply chain practices to reduce atmospheric, land and marine pollution, energy infrastructure. Although that's going to be cross-platform with the category of energy, so same. It's predominantly a lot of these talent people are cross-platform, but that's fine. That's not a problem. Environmental science, recycling, responsible manufacturing, support of plastic. That's all the generic stuff that we have learned since we were kids. But nowadays, the circular economy for recycling has expanded so far. For example, the plastic thing can actually turn into our clothes nowadays. Have you seen those things before? Okay, reduce emission. Increasing efficiency of use of natural resources, and again, that's a new thing. How do we store the energy? How do we store them into a battery? Sustainable manufacturing and life cycle and engineering specialist, waste treatment. Now, very interesting. It's not just the circular the economy, but the treatment of the waste. For example, in a lot of industrial land, the waste, the water, the chemical liquid, how do you treat them? That's again utilizing technology. So obviously we don't want to harm the land, we don't want to harm the soil, so that will affect our food, right? The agricultural food. Waste energy technology, ability to generate reliable baseload electricity that will capable of diverse waste away. So global talent profile, exceptional candidates, senior well-engineered managers responsible for managing multiple advanced carbon capture, usage, storage, purchase. This is just an example, okay? Strong candidate, postdoctoral researchers, so they are people who have patents and publications and ideas with well-cited high-impact publications. So again, that's another thing there. Not usually eligible. The following experience of profession would not usually meet the parameter. So engineer and mechanical do not lead to international projects. So obviously, if you're just an engineer, not sales and purchase representative, not gonna meet these requirements. Anyway, today's video is all about the circular economy. If you're in this industry and if you are at that kind of management level or perhaps international recognizable in all of what we have just talked about, perhaps you meet a requirement, and that's for GTI. And what's good about GTI? It's a permanent residency straight away, and that's best for you, of course. Anyway, should you have more question or query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.